King James Virgin, where each and every week my friends Alan and Adam recount Bible stories from their childhoods to me. I've never heard them before. My name is Nick.
I'm Alan.
And I'm Adam.
So I'm pretty excited about this week's episode.
I'm nervous.
Also nervous.
Yeah, this is a biggie.
What's funny is like it's a biggie, but after reading it, well, okay, I know why it's a biggie.
Yeah.
Because it's controversial.
Okay, great.
But
Great. Let's get into some hot water.
yeah.
No. Controversial in the sense that like it's not controversial. It will not.
Okay.
It will not affect us at all. But like some major, especially American Christian like culture.
I will say that Christians and Muslims, mostly,
I can't really, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, but use this story to condemn homosexuality.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. So Nick, what do you know about the story of Sodom and Gomorrah?
Oh, okay. Well, familiar with it only in that it is controversial and but only what you said, but I don't know why. I don't know the story.
I assume you could connect A to B that Sodom is
Yes.
sodomy,
Yes.
sodomite. Yeah. All right. So this story actually starts with Abraham,
Who is one of the Titans of the Old Testament?
but then is quickly not about him.
Okay, so I won't do the thing.
Right.
No,
It's about
Titans
his.
of the.
It's about his nephew Lot.
Yeah.
But the story does start with Abraham.
Which is kind of crazy because I don't. This is one of the things I don't remember, but like, doesn't this kind of like Lot come out of nowhere? Like, it's suddenly like, and now he has a nephew.
Well, no. The previous verses, they were together with Abraham's father.
Okay.
In like some other country, and God told him to leave, and Lot just went. The nephew went with his uncle to like a new land,
Like you do.
like you do. And when they got to the new land, they like split ways because they had too many cattle. They
Well,
had
I
to,
think
like split up.
Lot had gotten older. Was old enough to go on his own at that point.
Sure.
I think like that's the way it was told. The way it was told is like eventually they get to the point where Abraham like that Lot he's gotten old enough. He gets married and he's like, all right, see ya. I'm taking off to the city.
So there's a handful of cities, and we'll discuss why we don't really know where. But there's a handful of cities, Sodom and Gomorrah being two of them.
Okay.
The biggest. And so yeah, Abraham and Lot split ways.
It's like Minneapolis and St. Paul.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but Abraham goes to like North Dakota.
Yeah.
And then Lot goes to, let's say, St. Paul.
Yeah. We don't know. We actually don't know.
Well, he's in Sodom. They both start with S's.
Oh, I didn't know he was in Sodom.
The story starts with Abraham.
Okay.
So
Right.
God and Abraham are besties.
Right.
Do you remember how this starts?
Yeah. So God basically decides that Sodom and Gomorrah is like beyond saving, and it's time to just wipe it off the face of the planet.
Florida.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Actually, that makes more
Sorry,
sense.
Florida listeners.
He moves to Florida to Jacksonville.
Wow, are we just shitting on cities across?
Yeah.
So wait, where would that put Abraham? Arkansas.
Or New Orleans.
No.
Yeah.
Rural.
Ozarks.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Lot fucks off to Jacksonville.
Right. Exactly. So two angels.
It's more like Reno. It's like a Reno Tahoe thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Except, I mean, they're kind of.
So Abraham's in Sonoma Valley?
Actually, here's the thing. Like, maybe Sodom and Gomorrah was actually kind of a cool place. Well, no, it wasn't.
Anyway.
Yeah. So two angels, and I don't know, are they disguised?
No, we're not in two angels yet. We're actually in just God and Abraham talking.
Oh, I thought the angels are the one.
Do you remember the barter?
Yeah. I thought it was through the angels, though.
I think it's just God and Abraham.
Okay. So God basically was like, I'm going to wipe Sodom and Gomorrah off the face of the planet. And Abraham was like, well,
Wow.
Yeah.
Beyond saving, so
I'm getting rid of it.
great.
Redo. And
Spiteful God.
yeah. Old Testament God is sometimes
Right,
a little
yeah.
spiky.
Yeah, you remember that time when God sent the flood and it was like, I will never just wipe the slate clean again.
Yeah.
And then like
But just minimally.
200 years later, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna need to remove these cities.
Instead of doing like entire like countries or regions,
Yeah.
now just like surgically remove.
Yeah. He has a Clorox bleach pin this time.
I was gonna say, instead of like taking the eraser to the whiteboard, he's using like his finger.
Yeah.
Just like
removing letters.
yeah.
So Abraham's like, well, my nephew and his family lives there. So what if I can find 40 people?
50.
50.
Ooh.
Okay. What if I can find 50 people who are good. Would you save it? And God's like, yes, but there aren't. He's like, okay, then he just goes down by 10, doesn't he?
Well, yeah.
He basically just like continually goes down by 10.
Do you want to guess the numbers? There are 5 increments.
All right, so
Boy.
40 has to be in there.
Okay, actually, no, I'm sorry. There are 6 increments.
Okay, 45?
Correct. He goes from 50
40,
to 45 to 40
Okay.
to 30 to 20. And then he's like,
10.
all right, if
there
there
have to be 10.
good people.
And each time, and so he's saying, if I can find this many, and God is just saying straight up, no.
Yeah, they don't exist.
He's
can't.
not.
He goes, yes, but you can't. Yes.
He's actually not
you
saying that.
Oh, really?
No, he's just saying, because I think like they both know. But God is, so Abraham says, suppose there were 50 righteous within the city. Would you also destroy the place and not spare it for the 50 righteous? And God says, if I find in Sodom 50 righteous within the city, then I will spare all the place for their sakes. And they could go down the list to 10.
Got it. So it's like, so Abraham's basically just like couching, or not couching, but like patting his
He's
head.
like,
It's
there's got to be 10.
I could get 10.
right.
He's like, there's probably not 20. Let's go with 10.
10.
How about 10?
10. And God goes, okay, deal. At which point he dispatches the 2 angels.
Turns out there's not 10.
There's not 10. Well, but aren't the angels sent to find the 10?
The angels are basically sent to go to Lot.
And like,
Turns out there's one.
right.
Oh.
So angels show up, these 2 angels who look like, they don't look like angels, quote
Okay.
unquote. They look like normal people.
They have swords?
Not that we know of.
They do, but we can't see them.
Oh.
Wow.
Neat.
Canon. so they get to the city, and they're asking around. They find Lot, and
This is actually funny because it's like, we have the recurring joke on the no male donkeys.
Mhm.
Guess where they found Lot?
with a male donkey.
No.
Oh,
At the city gate.
oh, fuck. Well, of course.
Just dudes
Hanging
hanging
out.
out at gates.
Maybe the Bible is literally just written by people who hung out with gates and could not find male donkeys.
Sure.
Okay, but does it say what he was doing at the gate?
Masturbating.
Lot was at the gate.
Because he might have been like, hey, we need some good people in here. Hey, any good people? Good people. Looking for good people.
Could be. And so they, the 2 angels approach, and Lot says, hey, you guys, I don't recognize you. It's not safe for people that I don't that we don't know. Hey, why don't you come and stay at my house? It'll be safe. I'll make sure you eat. It'd be great.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good. That basically he recognizes that they're different. I think
Right.
he knows they're angels, and he invites them to his house.
Right.
And they say, we'll spend the night in the open square. And he's like,
no.
no.
No, it's not safe.
Yeah.
Come back to my house.
This is Reno, buddy.
Right.
You don't sleep outside.
He eventually convinces them to come back. Once they get to his house, they're in his house, and a mob has
From all
formed.
corners of the city.
All corners of the city, and basically start like pitchforks and torching like outside the house, like, and yelling like, Lot, like, send the 2 guys that you are harboring, like, who are the outsiders, out, because we want to fuck them.
Okay.
So there's different wording in different versions of the Bible.
I guess no one says fuck them, but like,
So
That's in the student Bible.
most of them say like some version of so we may know them.
Uh-huh.
This version says so we may know them carnally. A little more specific.
some actually say have sex with them, I think.
Yes.
Just straight up.
Wow.
So we may have sex with them.
But the implication is they want to rape these 2 men.
Yeah.
Or these
Who
2
are angels?
Who are angels that presumably the rest of the town doesn't know.
Yeah, I think
angels.
the rest of town is just like
It's
Fresh meat.
So Lot says, no, you guys, we can't do, like, we have to have a civilization. You cannot have sex with the new people.
Here's a point for later. Yeah, he says they're guests under my roof.
Okay.
Oh, I never like clocked that.
This is like a counterpoint for an argument later.
Okay.
So, and Lot, like, they're like more and more insistent. So Lot says, I will send you my daughters and you can have them in place of the 2 men that are under my protection. At which point, I'm not going to say to the crowd's credit, but the crowd like goes like, nope, I am only interested in one thing.
Yeah, they definitely don't. No one gets credit here.
No one's good. At which point the angels, there aren't swords. It's blindness, isn't it?
Hold on. See now, I have 2 daughters who have not known a man.
Oh, they're virgins. Cool.
Though they're married. So Please let me bring them
they're
out.
not married.
To you. They are. Let me bring them out to you, and you may do to them as you wish.
Hold on. How are they married?
Well, they are. It talks about his son-in-laws later.
Really?
Yes.
I feel like there's some. Okay, doesn't matter. You'll correct me when we get there.
I sure will.
So
that is my job here on the King James Version.
So the angels then basically like, all right, this is enough, and like the whole crowd is blinded, and they basically go like, get the fuck out of here, be gone, and they turn to Lot and goes like, yeah, we're here to destroy the city. You have a half hour or however long.
It's actually like till morning.
You have like till morning to get out of the city. Leave it. Do not look back and just keep going.
So there's a little fun bit that I had totally forgotten about because in my mind, Lot like runs to the mountains.
Yeah.
So the angels are like, you need to go to the mountains. And Lot's like, the mountains are far. Can I go to like just the next city?
Really?
To Zoar? And the angels are like, fine, we were going to wreck that one too. But yes, you can go to Zoar.
Oh, I didn't realize they were on a rampage. Like,
yep.
Okay. They got a list.
Yeah, they got a list. And but apparently the 80% bad was not as bad.
So he was actually heading out to Zoar.
So he wasn't going to the hills?
Not yet.
We're going to have to discuss how he gets to the hills then.
Oh, we will.
Okay. So he does. He packs up and his wife is not happy about having to leave Sodom and Gomorrah.
Not in the Bible.
Really?
His son-in-laws think he's joking, and so they don't go.
Ooh.
But the two daughters come with him.
Oh, I didn't remember that.
Yep.
And his wife.
Two daughters and his wife go with him.
Okay. And they're going.
Lot's wife. That's a thing to me. In my head.
So here's why. So as they're leaving, fire begins to rain from heaven and just
fire and brimstone.
Like literally is just bombing the shit
Can we
out of
define brimstone?
It's like a sulfurous rock.
Yes.
Okay.
Sulfur flaming rock.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
hot rocks.
Get your no, that's not a thing. So as they go, Lot's wife. See, and this is again where like the dramatization, she's in every single like animation or whatever I've seen, like she's hemming and hawing, like really upset that she's her.
You're gonna want to Google an image of this in just like 15 seconds.
Yeah. Okay. So she then basically ignores the warning of the angels, turns around and looks back at the city and is turned into a pillar of salt. Boom.
I thought this might be the pillar of salt.
Yeah.
There's some fun like Renaissance art where she looks like a chess pawn.
Cool.
It's not even like a human.
And she's turned into that just for looking.
Yes.
Correct.
Basically, the implication, I believe, was like pining back for what she lost and not like abhorring the city for being wicked.
Yep.
Is that in the Bible or is that just me coloring the story?
Her intentions are your color.
Okay. Got it.
She just
looked.
She's a female in the Bible, therefore she looked back. She was salt, and they moved.
She wasn't
on.
barren. Like she should have gotten a name.
Well, he didn't have any sons.
So half barren.
Might as well.
Yeah. Jeez. Whew. Anyway, so my understanding is they then continue on to the mountains, but that's not the case.
So they went to Zoar, and basically his daughters saw the cities were destroyed. They were all freaked out, and so then they left Zoar to go to the mountains.
Oh, daughters are like, no, we're going to continue on. They said mountains.
It's like half a verse.
Right. So they anyway get up to the mountains, and this is where the story takes another turn.
Okay.
Daughters apparently assume it's a bloodline thing, isn't it? It's not like
they assume that mankind has been wiped out.
Right. They believe, I was going to say, that's what I thought it was.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not wrong. They believe that Sodom and Gomorrah was the beginning, and it ended with all of civilization being destroyed, and they believe it's incumbent upon them to repopulate the earth. So they get Lot drunk and bang him.
Oh no.
To get pregnant.
Oh no.
Our father is old, and there is no man on earth to come into us, as is the custom of all the earth.
As is the custom.
Come, let us make our father drink wine.
Is there that many times it says come?
Yeah.
Jeez.
And we will lie with him, that we may preserve the lineage of our father. So they made their father drink wine that night, and the firstborn went in and lay with her father, and he did not know when she lay down or when she arose. And then the next night, the
same
second
thing.
daughter did it.
Rinse and repeat.
And from those two women, the firstborn had a son called Moab.
Moabites? Oh,
who the descendants were like the Moabites, which I'm not going to say is like the big bad, which is the Philistines,
One of the
Israelites.
Yeah.
And then the second son was the Ben-Ami, or the Ammonites. So
which
like
are also a bit.
those two daughters like really did populate the region. So mission accomplished.
Yeah.
Was it ever at any point revealed to them that in fact civilization still existed? It was just their towns.
Well, they got Wi-Fi like a month later.
Yeah. Oh no. Oh no. Do you see this map? There's so much world.
What is this? There's like an entire what the hell?
Look at this guy. This guy looks cute. Look at
Yeah, they like get signal.
Tinder's just like,
So that's the end of the story, which it feels like a peter out, except for the fact that they like really did populate the region from that tryst.
Yikes.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Considering that like civilization actually didn't get wiped, well, presumably didn't get wiped out. Maybe they just like they had 2 kids, and then those 2 kids just said, "You're now our family," and just like appropriated all the other people in the region.
It's an optimistic view.
More likely,
I don't think
know.
that.
more likely it was backwards, like a retcon, where since the Israelites wrote the Bible,
Right.
they kind of came up with this like scandalous story to do the like the eponyms of
it was like a smear campaign against the Moabites and the
Correct.
Amorites. Oh.
like, yes, you do deserve to be here because you are descendants of the same lineage of Abraham, but like
You're the redneck
from
side.
some weird stuff.
Yeah.
Turns out they're Arkansas. Sorry,
Oh
Arkansas.
shit.
We should-
Man, we're just putting everybody on blast.
I mean, really just Florida and Arkansas, but
Well,
and a little bit of Minnesota.
yeah, we should probably cut that out. Sorry,
I think
Arkansas.
there's some North Dakota in there too at some point early on.
My family's from North Dakota. It's fine.
Well, and Abraham, we put Abraham in North Dakota.
Well,
so that's
actually,
fine.
I'm from Arkansas and North Dakota,
Great.
so we're good.
I mean, are we? can you just claim like that's? I'm sure.
My lineage was from Arkansas, so that's on me.
I guess.
Yeah. That's the story.
Great. We'll be right back here on the King James Virgin. And we're back here on the King
James Virgin.
Aw, I'm so sad now. I have very little responsibility.
You can do it again.
No thanks.
All right, it's
And we're back here on the King James.
It's fun fact time
Great.
with my
How fun are these facts?
my 4
Scale of 1 to 10.
subtitles.
Yeah. I actually would like
I
it.
think I'm gonna say there's like at least 1 7.
Wow.
Well,
Okay.
presumably we're going to be talking about some butt stuff.
Yeah, the 7 is not butt stuff.
Okay.
There's gonna be a bit of like geology, and then we get to butt stuff.
Geology.
Hold on. Is the 7 a geology?
We're
fact?
cover. Yes.
You could call
There's no way that geology is a 7 on
You
the fun
could call
scale.
geology Earth's butt stuff.
Ooh.
Oh.
Actually, applicable for what I'm about to talk about.
Great.
So first, we're going to cover destruction theories.
Okay.
So first of all, there is no
How Alex Jonesy is this?
not
Great.
opposite. There's no written record of
Anything
this
happening.
kind of exactly of like a big event like this.
Alan,
There is written record that Sodom and Gomorrah existed.
Okay, I was gonna
Alan,
ask that.
I had a Bible teacher who insisted on me that they had found outside where Sodom and Gomorrah existed a large pile of salt that was in fact.
Oh man, you were kind of on the right track.
What?
But then not. So the theories are 3 things mostly, or a combination thereof: earthquake,
Sure.
volcanic eruption,
Mm-hmm.
meteorite strike,
Meteor is what I would assume. Yeah.
combination. Most likely is combination of earthquake with volcanic activity.
I mean,
Yeah, the meteor kind of is the wild card.
I will also say volcano or earthquake by itself doesn't really explain any of the like fire and brimstone.
So it kind of does. They're saying that. Well, first of all, let me also say that they don't know where, because it doesn't exist anymore. They don't totally know like exactly where Sodom and Gomorrah were.
Okay.
They have a general idea that it's in the southeastern portion of like the Dead Sea area.
Okay.
Could also be Baltimore.
Right.
Throwing it out there.
Always.
Right. So one interesting theory is that it's actually under the southern portion of the Dead Sea.
Oh.
So the earthquake or the volcanic shifted because
It's like a Pompeii type thing.
it's thought during Abraham's time the Dead Sea was quite a few quite a bit lower, and so only inhabited the northern like 2/3 of the kind of like Rift Valley area.
Interesting.
And so because of the activity, that's why they haven't found ruins. So
Excuses.
there is an idea that the Dead Sea area may have been devastated by an earthquake between 2100 and 1900 BCE, which would have unleashed showers of streaming tar.
Jeez.
Because there is record that like that area was full of like tar pits. So that kind of tracks.
That would be horrendous.
Yeah. I'd rather be turned into a pillar of salt.
Yeah.
There's also proposed that 3,700 years ago, there was a meteoric explosion in the atmosphere equivalent to 10 megatons, which laid waste to a few like villages.
Sounds like
there.
a lot of tons.
Yeah. I've seen Deep Impact and Armageddon. I know this shit.
Okay.
Was it Steve Buscemi ride a missile? Was that the one? Was it Steve Buscemi? That sounds wrong.
So now we're getting close to the 7-point geology fact.
Great.
Yeah.
So the Dead Sea, and really this just got me reading like a lot about the Dead Sea,
Okay.
which is really interesting. So it's fed by the Jordan River, which is like more of
Sounds like some of my least favorite type of podcast content.
oh, whatever, it's fine.
What, geology?
No, just describing like how wide a sea is.
Oh,
Yeah, that's fair. Well, so I'm only going to go as far to say that the shore of the Dead Sea is the lowest point on the planet where you are not wet. It's like the lowest dry land on the planet.
Adam's face is like turning inside out.
Well, like so there's obviously there's lower points under the ocean,
Right.
but it is.
So if you're James Cameron in a submersible,
Not you were this is where you're the least happy.
But it's 1,400 feet. It's 1,400 feet below sea level.
yeah,
That's a lot.
that's a lot.
I just love the idea of James Cameron on the edge of the Dead Sea going, I could be under the ocean.
Yeah.
It recedes at a meter a year. What's interesting is
Now?
yeah, because of evaporation. It's being fed by such little water and evaporating at such a high rate, which is why its salinity is so high. So what's interesting, I first read this in the Asimov book, which was published in like the late 60s, and it said that the Dead Sea was 1,280 feet below sea level, but now it's 1,419. Like it's just like dropping, and the salinity went up a ton. So it's like 9 times saltier than the ocean. It's actually becoming like a bit of like a biohazard area.
Sure.
Because it's so salty. And there's these projects from Jordan to like run a pipeline to just like pump water in it. And there's chemical companies pulling salt out of it. It's pretty crazy.
Huh. Talk about like a weird issue that we would never have come across.
It's also one of the deepest lakes in the world. There you go. It's just shallower than Chelan here in Washington State.
Damn.
At like 1,300 feet.
That's a deep ass lake.
I think it's really interesting.
And that totally explains why we've not found any evidence of any of these cities.
Yeah.
And to me, that's a 7.
Great.
Yeah, we need to
cruise down the chart. I mean, I'm ready for the butt stuff at this point.
Yeah.
All right, we're moving to butt stuff. So there's a passage in Jude about Sodom and Gomorrah, and it says, even as Sodom and Gomorrah, giving themselves over to fornication, going after strange flesh, are set forth an example, suffering the vengeance of eternal fire. So there's like, between the actual like biblical text in Genesis and then text about it, there's just a lot of arguments about why Sodom was destroyed. Like, was it because of homosexuality?
Right. Which is the implication because of just the crowd.
And that's why the people are saying like, oh, God hates homosexuality so much that he destroyed an entire city. And so there's just like a ton of argument about these few phrases, like going after strange flesh. Some people think it's like bestiality. Some people think it's just like having sex with unmarried partners, like, strangers.
No, because they would have been fine with the married, like infidelity at that point if the daughters were being thrown out.
I know the problem.
Like I'm quibbling with the bullshit, whatever.
Well, that's one of the problems is like, it's like back-to-back texts. They say like, bring them out so we may know them. And then like the next line, it's saying like, have my daughters, they've not known a man. So it's like, that one's kind of hard to argue against.
Right. Totally.
I mean, yeah.
But the thing is, just because they thought homosexuality was wrong 5,000 years ago, doesn't make it wrong.
Sure.
They also like
I feel like there's
stoned unruly children. So
yeah, right.
I'm fine with that one.
yeah, I know. Seriously. There's some interesting like non-sexual interpretations
Okay.
where earlier when I mentioned that Lot was saying like you can't have sex with them because they're my guests.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who think that it's like a moral obligation to provide for your guests. It's
right.
So it's saying like the people of Sodom and Gomorrah like were not hospitable.
I like that interpretation. Like the issue was,
I do too. Yeah.
You know, the interesting thing is like
They didn't have clean towels.
technically it's not. I mean, this is a
Burn
weird technicality. Yeah, this is a technicality, but like it's not homosexuality. It's anal sex, presumably. I guess the crowd did not specify. We just interpret it as
We want to have sex with them.
right because it could be just third.
Could have been a whole crowd of women.
I was going to say,
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
That's not clear. That's not clear. I mean, given that the Bible doesn't recognize that women are people, I doubt it. But
There is that. Well, but then the next thing, like I said, was that my daughters who have not known a man.
sure.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's a crowd of women.
Mhm.
I'm going to say they just weren't friendly enough.
you could also argue that the angels are the ones that actually made the call after, you know what I mean? So like,
Sure.
maybe God just had an inkling that this place was bad in general. And then the angels are the ones that actually made the call after the, like, we don't know them thing.
Right. They're like, okay,
So, yeah.
this tips the scale.
Do you remember in the Noah and the Flood episode where one of the reasons that God may have destroyed the earth was because angels and humans were having sex?
I'd forgotten about that.
I vaguely remember that. Yeah.
So that's another interpretation of like strange flesh, is that it was actually...
They knew that they were angels?
Well, and like it was a thing.
Whoa.
Like breeding.
Bring those angels out
I
here.
got to get me some angel
and,
flesh.
and giants and, you know, like
Wow.
interspecial. So
Sure.
basically it doesn't matter because it's the Bible and like it shouldn't affect how you live your life. But
So concerned about where
it's-
you put your dick.
highly contested. Probably more talked about than the foreskins of the Moses episode.
Right.
Sure.
Which is arguably much more traumatic that you're just like,
And a
with
much more confusing passage.
very confusing. Maybe that's why it's not like
Right. Yeah. This is
clear.
Yeah. This is like almost too clear. Like we want it to be not as specific.
Because like, could you back off in the specificity? Because I
Yeah, like we don't need to know that it was a sharp rock. That's too much.
don't know, man. Like having your mom cut off the foreskin with a sharp rock.
here we are
It's gonna
again.
just fuck up your brain a whole lot. I don't.
So basically, this story is used by religious people across the world to condemn homosexuality.
yeah, this is where that comes from.
Even though it's a text written 5,000 years ago by we don't know who,
Yeah.
and it was passed down verbally for 2,000 years before it was even written. So,
Yeah.
you know, none of this is real.
You get the collective boo from the King James Version.
Boo.
Though having said that, there was an Akkadian poem written down describing a person who escaped a city destroyed by a rain of fire.
Oh shit.
So maybe it did happen.
So maybe Lot got some action from his daughters.
Well, that
That
happened.
well, we don't know. Probably not.
I do. There's like, no, we have biblical evidence of that happening. Like that actually happened, but whether the city was destroyed or not,
Right.
that seems.
Yeah. So this has been apparently not so fun fact corner.
I mean, they were fun. I just don't know if I worry about your personal
Stay
scale.
tuned for more geology facts here on the King James Version.
I do still like the idea that Adam really enjoyed the idea that there was still a pile of salt like laying on the ground, just like in a previous episode when you were talking about there being just jewels like a platforming video game just laid out on the floor, like
100%.
oh, there's Lot. She's in that pile of salt.
I what I forgot to mention was they actually have found like more
Like a salt
concentration of
deposit?
sulfur.
That's why the sea is so salty.
Right?
Yeah, no,
One body's
that's,
worth of salt.
that's not true. But sulfur, which would have been caused from like the earthquakes and
Sure.
volcanic stuff.
It's just it's a fucking nut. Like the whole thing is just
It's a weird little story. It's only like 2 chapters.
right.
It's really short.
But it's kind of like, especially considering like, I mean, the term Sodom and Gomorrah has like crazy legs.
Mhm.
Like we have this idea of like an apocalyptic event.
Also interesting because like this is the first story that we've done that's not like a name of a person. It's a name of a place.
Sure.
It is nearly the complete arc of Lot, besides him like leaving his home country.
I do remember, like, now that you're saying this, like, he's just kind of a whiny little bastard through the entire thing. Like, I'd forgotten, but once you said the thing about him, like, can I just go to the city?
I love that part. It is like a Jonah length story.
Sure.
It's sandwiched between Abraham being like, my wife is barren, and his wife being like, sleep with my servant. Like this happens between that.
Okay.
Hey, thanks so much for listening. You can follow us at KJVPod on Twitter and Instagram. This week, we would love it if you would take a screenshot of you listening to the podcast, tag us at KJVPod, and post it to your Instagram. And if you don't have Instagram, Twitter will work too. But just share it with the people that follow you, and, you know, maybe they'll like it too. Thanks to Mascaras and Resurrection Records for the use of our theme song, Quixote, off the album El Moran. This week's Resurrection Records artist is Abronia. You can find links to this song, our theme song, stickers we have for sale, show notes, random bios, I don't know, all sorts of shit on our website, kingjamesvirgin.com.
That'll do it for us this week. Until next week, maybe check the news before you go about trying to repopulate the earth.
Sonic Bazaar.